Car scenes and walk and talk scenes are all over TV and film. Do you know how to set them up for the perfect self-tape audition? In this video, I'll show you how to do both, along with the good old interrogation scene. I'm Anonymous from Anonymous Actor Tips, where I help you get on TV, in movies, and on stage. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any tricks of the trade. Let's get it. One of my favorite types of scenes to set up for an audition are car scenes. I absolutely love them because they give you a really nice opportunity to get super creative and specific from a visual and physical standpoint, just based on how you set things up in the frame. So the first thing you want to remember is that you do not want to just look at your reader the entire time for any car scene. It doesn't make any sense, it's totally unnatural, and if you're driving a car, you should probably be looking through the windshield, not at the person sitting next to you. So keep that in mind. There's also another major reason why you don't want to just look at your reader the entire time for any car scene, but we'll get to that in a second. So all you have to do to suggest driving is shift slightly to the left, have your eye line slightly to the left of the camera lens, arm up, hand on the wheel, you're driving. It's simple, organized, easy to follow. Now, if you're in a country where the steering wheel is on the right side of the car, then just do the opposite of what I'm showing you. So when you're here, you want to make sure not to go too far to the left in 45, because then we lose your left eye. It's very important to have both of your eyes in frame for the majority of the scene, because it's a huge pet peeve of casting directors and directors when they aren't able to see an actor's eyes. Now, obviously, if you're in a scene and let's say you're looking for something and you shift to the left for a second and your left eye goes out of frame for a moment, or if you're over here on the right and your right eye we lose for a second, that's not the end of the world. But if the majority of the scene, if your major setup for the scene is too far to the left or to the right and we lose one of your eyes for let's say 20 or 30 seconds of the scene, that's a big no-no. I've made this mistake several times. I'd be excited to do a scene, I'd knock it out, totally crush it, and then I would look at my playback and realize, damn, I forgot to check my eye lines. I was too far to the left or the right, and I would have to reshoot it. So don't make that mistake. Make sure both of your eyes are in frame. Now, when you're over here and you're driving, you can put the rear view mirror right above the camera, and your side mirror to the left. So it's simple movements up and to the left. Now, because I'm behind these huge alien eyes, I have to show you these shifts with my head. But what's even better is to just use your eyes. When you're in a tight frame, you want to minimize movements. So let your eyes do all the heavy lifting that they can do in a scene. If you haven't seen my video on the beauty of stillness, make sure to check that out because I give you some tips on what to do and more importantly, what not to do in a close-up. When you're over here driving, you can now make a decision when to look at the person sitting in the passenger seat. Now, this is a huge advantage. Remember when I told you you don't want to look at the reader the entire time? Well, this is why. If you're looking at the reader the whole time and you're on them from the beginning of the audition, then you've essentially given up the opportunity to make a decision when in the scene your character would look at your scene partner, based on what's being said or how your character is being treated. Because you're already looking at your reader, you're already on them. So what I like about this setup is that you as an artist get to decide. You get to choose based on your script analysis and what the writer gives you, or whatever stimuli comes your way, when to look. So if you're over here and they say something scandalous or something funny, or they make some weird comment, and you want to shift to look at them briefly, all you have to do is simply shift your gaze over the axis of the camera and put them on the other side. Now again, you don't want to go too far in 45 on the right side because we don't want to lose your right eye. So make sure both of your eyes are in frame. So you react, and then when you're ready to go back, you just simply shift right back over the axis, and you're looking through the windshield again. It's back and forth. But what I like about this setup is that it gives you an opportunity to decide when to look and when not to. And these choices go a long way. Let's say they say something offensive. Do you look at them or do you not look at them? Maybe the stronger choice is to not look at them. And if you're on your reader the entire time, you've minimized your options. Now, on the other side of the coin, if you're the person sitting in the passenger seat, it's the same setup, just to the right side of the camera. Make sure both of your eyes are in frame. Again, you don't want to go too far to the right. And now you're dealing with the person driving. So when the time is right, based on your analysis of the script and based on when your impulses hit you, you cross the axis, you look at them. And then when you want to go right back to look through the windshield, simple, back and forth, just like the other side. Also, When you're in this position, let's say you want to deal with the dashboard. You can put all the business of the scene right under the camera. So whether it be turning on the AC or the heat, maybe you want to turn up the radio, whatever it is, you just put all of that right under the frame right here. All you have to do is lift your left arm up if you're riding shotgun, and if you're driving, you just simply lift up your right arm, and anybody watching your tape will know that you're dealing with the dashboard. Another common scene you'll see in a lot of auditions and on set is the walk and talk. This is essentially a two-shot where the camera has both characters in frame as they're walking from one location in the scene to another, all the while disseminating information about the story. Whether it be some political thriller with the US Capitol building in the backdrop, or a medical procedural set in a hallway, or maybe it's two coaches talking about an upcoming game as they walk across the football field. They're all over the place on TV and in movies. So for these scenes, again, you don't want to look directly at the reader the entire time, because you're physically walking next to them. Think about it like a human being. If you're walking next to someone, you're not looking at them the entire time because you'll probably trip on something. So what you can do to set this up is first choose which side of the camera you want to work with, left or the right. Unlike the car setup where the steering wheel dictates where you are, in these scenes you have an option. So let's go with the left. So I'm looking down my eye line, taking in my environment, wherever the writer has placed me for the scene, and during the conversation, whenever the time is right, maybe I want to check in with them to see if they're listening to me, or to see if what I'm saying is landing on them, or let's say your scene partner says something surprising, something I wasn't expecting at all. All you have to do is simply shift your eye line across the axis to deal with them. Now you're over here, you see them, you digest what's being said, and again, you're illustrating to the audience what is pertinent information based on when you look during the conversation versus when you're looking straight down your path. So it gives you an opportunity to help tell the story. And then when you're done over here, you can simply shift right back over the axis and continue down your path. Now, there's going to be some point in the conversation when it escalates and there's some provocative piece of information that's shared, and it's enough to garner your full attention. So to deliver on this moment, all you have to do is shift your shoulders and your head to the other side of the frame to suggest that you've stopped walking, you've planted your feet, and now you're communicating face to face. Again, the physical shift helps to tell the story and helps to suggest an emotional shift or revelation so that even if the show is on mute, you get a sense that something important is going down. And then once this piece of information has been shared and you're done talking, the characters can go their separate ways or continue down the same path. If this is making sense so far and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Okay, so the good old interrogation scene. Again, these are all over TV. They're very common in any police procedural like a Law and Order or CSI, NCIS. The list goes on and on and on. What you want to do is, again, use the axis of the camera to help you organize who you're talking to, when you're talking to them, and how you deal with each cop based on how they're dealing with you. You put one cop on the left and the other cop on the right. If you've done some research and you watched a few episodes of the show, which you should be doing, you'll get a better sense of what kind of personalities are on the show. So with that information, it can help you determine how you respond to each. So let's say you have your good cop on the left side here, and that person is patient and kind and understanding. You have a certain way of reacting to them coming off of that kind of energy. So maybe you're trying to help them. You're trying to be as cooperative as possible to help them fill in the blanks of their investigation. Whereas if the cop on the other side of the frame is intimidating or aggressive or stoic or giving you the evil eye the entire time, you can choose a more defensive, standoffish manner in how you deal with them. Knowing your relationships to everyone in the scene is absolutely crucial because in your daily life, the way you deal with people shifts constantly based on who you're talking to. It's the same thing when you're working. So in this setup, it's very easy to differentiate between who you're talking to, at what time, and also how you react off of each, based on how you're being treated. I really don't remember. It might have been 5:36. It was right when I got home from work. No, that's not what I said. I said when I got home from work. You're putting words in my mouth. Yeah, that's the best I can remember. Okay, so those are 3 common setups you'll see over and over as you audition for TV and film roles throughout your career. Now, one quick note. If it's an in-person audition and the casting director instructs you to look at them throughout the scene, regardless of how many people are in the scene, then obviously deliver on what they want. But if you have an opportunity to get creative with your setup and stand out from the rest of the people auditioning, then I would cross that axis, have my eye lines on point, and get to work. And especially for your self-tapes, all of this applies. Thanks for being here. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks on how to navigate your acting career. And be sure to check out this video on the beauty of stillness. To my thespian brothers and sisters, I salute you, break a leg, and have a great day.